How to end a haram relationship. Oh, that's a big problem these days. Let's hear it.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان ومن يتبع خطوات الشيطان فإنه يأمر بالفحشاء والمنكر.
Facts.
تقال العثار العظام به ويغدو الهوى ككبش ذبيح بذكر الإله.
Just because you have raging hormones and you're like daydreaming about girls and things like that, it doesn't mean that you're in love. It just means that you haven't controlled your temptations yet. And you're ruining somebody's life. You're ruining an entire family. You realize what you're doing? And you call it love? You know,
it's like interesting here. And there was a study done, and this is actually, you can look this up online if you don't believe me. Like a lot of people were asked, especially like men, if love and sex is the same, right? So if someone has like intimacy and love, do they put this in the same box, or can there be intimacy without love? And guess what? There was actually a very, very, very high percentage. And this study was actually more than half of the men. They said like, and more than half of the men, this is the creepy part, right? Said that sex and love can be separated. Can you imagine this? Like more than half of the people being asked, they said this. So there's like a large percentage on our planet walking now with a modern liberal way of thinking that say, oh, you can have fun with someone but not be in love with them. Because you can separate intimacy from love. Like more than half of the people on this planet these days think like that. That you can separate the two, right? And that means that human beings, some are just following their desires. And he says ruining an entire family. You know what comes to my mind when I hear this? And I actually know someone that made such experiences that lives not far from me here, and it was a person that was crying a lot. It was a woman that had fun with some guy in like a haram relationship. It was just intimacy, no love. Guess what? Something broke, and a certain liquid got out, and she got pregnant. And what happened then? She has now a child, is a single mom, and she lives very miserable. She has like problems finding a partner that accepts her for her past. Plus, she has now to always take care of the kid, has lost a lot of free time, and the father of the kid does not even call and check on the kid. So a whole family has been ruined because of fun. Now, would it have been different if there was love between the two? Yes, the guy would have taken responsibility. He would have stayed with the girl. They would have probably gotten married, moved in with each other, and they would have raised the child together. But because they had no emotional connection, it was just fun with an accident. So yeah, this is so true. I know real life stories like that.
You realize what you're doing?
Met a lot of people in my life.
You call it love? You tell me if she was like 50 pounds fatter, you still be in love? Because she's the same person, same ruh inside her jasad.
Definitely not for most cases.
If she was a burn victim or something, her hand burnt off, or her ear was missing, you still be in love? Or you find somebody else to love all of a sudden?
Just physical attraction.
And if you can't answer that question honestly, then come on, you're not in love, you're just hormonal. That's all you are, you know? This is what we've done to relationships that are supposed to be beautiful. Marriage is supposed to be a beautiful relationship.
It's like a close friendship too.
It's supposed to be a lifelong relationship. But because you're watching all of these models on TV and stupid, like, you know, women that are just throwing themselves at
Instagram girls, OnlyFans.
Develop this delusional concept of what it means to have love in your life. Delusional concept. Our deen came to free the world from this nonsense.
Yes.
To free it. Because we have a more mature understanding of what it means to have love in your life.
And this is also why in Islam it is forbidden for a potential spouse to meet the other potential spouse and they are not wearing the hijab. Like, why do you meet a Muslim sister as a brother to marry her and she's wearing the hijab and she has to actually wear it while you get to know her? Because it keeps your hormones in check. You don't look at her physical attraction too much. You look more at her character and personality if you're having a chat with her, right? In a halal way, of course. And then, oh, she's actually a smart girl. I actually like what she's saying. Yo, I love the view she has on things in life. She's a good audience to speak with. Like, she's very talk active. She's smart. Like, the way she speaks is brilliant, and you get impressed by that sister's personality. And when you marry her then, and you end up with her in a room of privacy and she doesn't have the hijab on, then you loved her. Maybe you find her attractive physically, yes, but you were not stimulated as much during the meeting because she was covered up. Does this mean you have to marry someone blindly that you don't find attractive? No. You can get a rough understanding of her shape. You even can sometimes see from like the wrist or the hands, like what's her weight, right? You can ask some sort of questions, but don't make it too fitna. Like maybe you can ask her like, what's your weight in kilogram or something, right? Or do you exercise sometimes? Like, you can ask basic questions without causing much fitna. You're not gonna ask for the cup size, of course, right? Or do you trim some hair somewhere or something? No, that's not what you're allowed to ask, right? And it's not even important because I don't think that's the priority in this, right? Like, beauty comes from other factors as well, right? But you ask general questions, you get an understanding of that Muslim sister's personality, then you do the nikah, you are married, and then you loved your wife with her personality before of physical attraction. And this is the beauty about marriage in Islam, for example, that a lot of people don't understand or misunderstand about Islam, or where brothers are terrified, like, oh, I don't want to marry a sister I have not seen undressed. Like, how do I know she's gonna be attractive? There are, like I said, questions to find out and get a rough understanding of her physique without causing much fitna, and your hormones are on a very low level when you meet her, and you think more straight, and you make a rational choice and not a choice out of moment. So yeah,
you know, to have, I'm not saying you shouldn't marry someone you like. You should. You should be attracted to your future spouse. All of those things are fine, but there's a decency that you have to exhibit before that, you know. And if you're okay with talking to a girl like that, you should be okay with somebody talking to your sister. You're okay with that too?
No.
Not if you have any ounce of decency left inside you.
You would be jealous.
If you do, then, you know, this is how we have to. We have to end these things. And no, if you've been in that kind of relationship, or you're in one of those relationships right now, nobody knows. Only Allah knows, and you know. Don't raise your hand, please.
Hide your sins.
But I'm saying, you're like, after today's lecture, I have decided I no longer want to be your friend. You know, don't even write that, because even then you're looking for a response. You're kidding yourself.
Just block
and then
the person.
Did she write back? Yes, we should no longer be friends. And then you'll write back, you're right, we really shouldn't be friends anymore.
You get back.
Write back, yeah, never again. And then you're still doing it. Just stop, just cut it off.
Or you write a message with an immediate blocking, right? Like, you write a message says, hey, I'm sorry, but what we have been doing is haram, and I feel guilt. I want to focus on my religion, so I can no longer have this sort of relationship with you. Then you send it, and you immediately block this person, and you don't give them the chance to respond to you, because you've already made a choice, right? You can let them know, but a one-time letting know, and then you block them, or you never actually look into the chat again or something. If you can do this a one time, it's okay. If you can't, or you feel like you're gonna be weak, immediately block them and don't speak to them. Or have another person do this. Perhaps a mahram, a male relative, if they know about this, right? Like, have your father explain it or something, or say, sorry, brother, but that's not how you're gonna be with my daughter. If you want my daughter, you have to come to our front door and ask for her hand. Don't have this haram relationship. Like, there have been cases where haram relationships became halal, but there needs to be a cut and a separation for a period of time that is at least a month, and both must have done tawbah, and then the guy must do it the right way from now on, if he did a sincere tawbah, and after a month has passed, and he must seek the father or the wali of that sister, a male mahram, and then communicate with the family and ask for marriage. And you have to, if they didn't know, then you say nothing, but if they did also know about this, you need to really apologize to the family as well, and you need to show that you have become a better individual. Like, if you do a tawbah, you repent, you cut connection with that woman for some time period, at least 1 month or longer, then you can try again, but do it halal, please. don't stay in a haram relationship. Don't commit zina. Stay away from it. There's a heavy punishment for that even.
Just cut it off. It's not good for you. And guys, I've done a whole series on shame, so I won't repeat the whole thing because it took hours and hours and hours, but I will tell you this. It's okay to be attracted to a girl. Allah put that in you.
Yeah.
You're not evil for finding a girl beautiful.
It's your nature.
It's not haram for you to feel that way. You have to control it though. You have to control yourself. Our deen teaches us self-control. And if you cannot exhibit self-control in one aspect of your life, you'll lose self-control in other aspects of your life. Same thing for you. Same thing for you. Control yourself. Control your giggle. Control your overly friendly demeanor in certain situations.
Yeah, you open doors for
Don't be
zina.
oblivious to. Don't say we're just friends or he's like a brother to me. If he ain't your brother, he ain't your brother. That's it.
Yes, knowledge is important. Wow. But yeah, if you have a haram relationship, you want to hear my personal advice. Ask yourself also, if you are in a haram relationship, what's the goal of that relationship? What are you trying to accomplish with this? Because you're committing a sin, you're making Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upset with you. But what is the end goal of this haram relationship? Do you want this to lead to marriage? Are you sure you want to marry this person? And if you have been in a longer period of time in a haram relationship and you're still not sure about marrying that person, then why are you not sure? And how can you be sure you will be sure? Because if you're, for example, let me give you an example. Someone has 1 year of a haram relationship and they've done even some very horrible things that they shouldn't, so some physical things in this, right? And they're still after 1 year not sure if they want to marry this person. That's not really love, because you don't even know after 1 year if you truly love a person. Because if you really love a person, you can give that person your all, your whole life, right? Oh, I want to dedicate my life staying by your side and worshiping Allah together, right? If you don't have this feeling after even a year, and you have even maybe had already physical contact, then it's not gonna change after some years. What do you expect? You're with someone for years, and then one day you're gonna be like, oh, now I'm sure, but I wasn't sure for 3 years. So what made you sure? And why were you not sure? This is something that's very confusing. And I feel also a lot of sisters are actually suffering so much from heartbreak because of such guys, right? That can come to the father and just ask for the hand. A lot of guys are following their hormones and they are playing with the feelings of sisters. May Allah protect them from such men. And then they end up being depressed. They're saying, oh, I lost my V card, right? You guys know what V card means, I hope. But yeah, and they end up situations where they are so regretful of what happened. And guess what? The guy that did this, he's to blame as well. Both are to blame. But this guy destroyed someone's life. And now she has to explain to her future husband why she lost her V card for something very stupid in the past. Some future spouses are they can forgive, right? And stuff. And they're fine with it. Some others, they have a very high demand on, oh, you have to have this and this, or I don't marry you, right? I know some cultures where this is very strict. But even then, how do you know that, for example, let's say you had a haram relationship, and then you're with a new guy and you do it halal and you are in a marriage. Are you sure as a woman that you don't still have feelings for that guy you had your first experience with? And maybe during your marriage, you make your husband suffer because you often say, oh, my ex used to do this and that. Guys, they really, I'm going to be honest, guys, they really hate this when you speak about past experiences as a woman, usually. More than 90% of the guys, I'm sure they actually hate this a lot, right? So even if you had something in the past, this is also my advice to sisters, it's better actually you even hide it if you can. Don't talk about something like that. Same for the guys. You can make a sister also jealous about saying, oh, in my jahiliyyah, I had girlfriends, they had this sort of shape, they looked like this, they used to do like this and this for me. Don't make your spouse jealous, right? Don't do this. Plus, ask yourself always when you get to know someone, what is the end goal? What's the road you want to go with that person? Is it like a partial road where you're just going to be some time being with that person, you have fun, then you dump the person? Or is it something that you want to last forever? Because you need to have the right intention also when it comes to like loving someone, right? And you need to be pure with it, because otherwise like your life's gonna be miserable. And those sort of relationships, they can sometimes lead to unwanted pregnancies, and then like families that are very, very confusing, where a child has like multiple parents, like even step parents, this and that, right? So it's very confusing. It destroys society as well, because everyone does something with everyone. Sometimes you don't even know who the child's father is, this and that. Like, we have a lot of social problems because of these sort of relationships, and people don't want to marry anymore. Then people always hesitate with everything. They never start a family, or very late. Like, there are a lot of social issues that are also connected with harem relationships. And a lot of diseases are also being transmitted that way. Like STDs and stuff, for example. So it's, yeah. Find a reason why you have some sort of attraction to an individual. Double check if those are hormones, or if this is sincere love and you love that person's personality as well, right? And if you're sure you love that person's personality, then take responsibility for that individual. If you love a person and you truly, truly love a person, I'm doing real talk right now, then you want the best for this person, and you want this person to be safe and protected. And that means even from your hands, from your filthy thoughts. If you love someone, you will protect them from yourself even, because you just want the best for them. If you don't have this feeling, you don't truly love that person. That's a fact. So yeah, think about my words. If you have a harem relationship, either you have to completely cut ties and break this, or you repent and make it halal, but don't do a haram relationship. This is not good. And you're also destroying whole families with that. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time, inshallah.